what is your take on what makes this, this test result success unique? What makes it important for this sector in India? What makes it important for the future of this sector in India? PK Ghosh.
Yeah, thank you. I would also like to congratulate Professor Satya and the entire team at Agnikul Cosmos for whatever they have done and this big step that they have taken. And throughout, I've been seeing the advancements that they have been achieving. So let me first start with the fact that let me take a strategic overview rather than a technical one. Firstly, when I had heard, and I'll be very honest, way back in 2021 or so, when it came out that Agnikul had actually managed to use a 3D printer to make this Agni-lead, I was very apprehensive. I'll be honest. I was very apprehensive whether this thing would work and how far it would work, or things of that sort, because I was aware of the history of the cryogenic engine. This, of course, is a semi-cryogenic engine, which is actually, I would say, in many ways better. But what had happened to the cryogenic engine? And when the Russians refused to give us the technology, and they gave us the engines themselves, including what we were supposed to work on, the two extra engines which they gave. It was a very complicated engine. And Dr. Ram can probably bear me out on this, I don't know. But we were not really able to get through to the entire technology. It was so complicated, especially the Russian design. So when Agnikul came up and they said, oh my God, look, we have made a 3D printer usage of Agni-lead, I was apprehensive. But then over the time, I think they have proved themselves, and this is just one step. Of course, if their Agni-Ban is going to be two-stage, and as Professor mentioned, this is the first stage where the cluster engines are going to be there. We will have to test all of them together. This is the first step. You take one engine and then slowly move on to the cluster engine, design and so on and so forth. So that's, I think, good. Now, I would also like to mention, as I said, that this is the way forward. You see, small satellites, and Agni-lead has got a capability of, I think, from 30 to some say 100, 200, Professor Satya might correct me on this, right up to 200 to 300, in fact. Now, this is up to 700 kilometers in orbit, and with a fair amount of inclination. So this is the way of the future, because most of the numbers that are going to come, most of the space economy, one aspect is going to be the small satellite, and sending satellites beyond that. Of course, they are going to be there. ISRO is going to do it. Unfortunately, the last launch didn't work out well, but that's okay. That's 1,700 kg satellite, 1,695 or so. So there'll be lesser number. The maximum number is going to be, because universities, colleges, and what have you, I might decide to have a satellite over there in my name. And, it's going to be a small one. So this is the way of the future. And I think Agnikul is really going on this way. And ISRO has realized that. That's why we have in space. That's why we are encouraging these people. Otherwise, why should we encourage them? Earlier, if you remember, and I'm talking of the mindset, it is everything is classified. Nothing is going to go out. Oh my God, private companies, never tell them anything. But now we have realized that the way forward is through public and private participation. It is through getting all the private companies, especially startups like this, and there are so many of them, and Agnikul is obviously one of the better ones.
Yes.
And so
no,
this
that's a
is
good
the
point.
way
That's a good point.
forward.
Dr. Srivastava, let me take that to you now on where we go from here. Where we go from here, reportedly now